Let's not waste any time sugarcoating it. Dealing with people who don't respect you is one of the most exhausting and soul-crushing challenges you'll face. Whether it's a dismissive colleague, a so-called friend who undermines you, or even a family member who constantly oversteps, the sting of disrespect can gnaw at your self-worth and shake the very foundation of your confidence. It's a universal struggle, but that doesn't make it any less personal. I know this because I've lived it. I've endured moments where I felt insignificant, unheard, and dismissed, questioning not just others but myself. Here's the reality you need to embrace. Respect isn't a privilege someone grants you. It's a standard you demand. You don't have to endure disrespect, not from anyone. It's time to reclaim your power, redraw your boundaries, and take back control over how you're treated. In this video, I'm bringing you 8 bold, no-nonsense strategies to handle disrespect head-on. These aren't fluffy platitudes or surface-level advice. These are actionable, battle-tested techniques rooted in Stoic philosophy and my own hard-earned lessons. I won't tell you to just rise above or look the other way. That's not enough. I'm here to arm you with the tools to stand firm, speak up, and command the respect you deserve. So, if you're tired of feeling sidelined or walking on eggshells just to keep the peace, this is for you. By the end of this video, you'll walk away with confidence, clarity, and the power to face disrespect without flinching. It's time to stop playing small and start owning your worth. Are you ready to take charge? Let's dive in. 1. Set clear boundaries. If you want to reclaim your self-respect, the first and most crucial step is setting firm boundaries. This isn't about being subtle or hoping people will magically get the hint. It's about directly and confidently defining what behavior is acceptable and what crosses the line. Here's the hard truth. People will treat you exactly the way you allow them to treat you. If you're tolerating disrespect without consequences, you're essentially giving them permission to keep doing it. I know this because I've been there. There was a time when I let others push me around, thinking that if I stayed nice and accommodating, eventually they'd reciprocate with respect. Guess what? That approach didn't work. Respect isn't something you can earn by shrinking yourself to fit someone else's comfort. It's something you command by standing tall and speaking your truth. It wasn't until I drew a bold, unwavering line in the sand, making my limits crystal clear, that I finally saw a shift in how people treated me. Whether it's a boss who oversteps or a friend who constantly tears you down, you must let them know where your boundaries lie. Respect doesn't arise from silence. It's born from courage. The key is to be assertive, not aggressive. Speak with clarity and conviction, not hostility. For instance, if someone routinely interrupts or talks over you, calmly state, "I value respect in conversations, and I need you to allow me to finish speaking." It might feel awkward or even nerve-wracking at first, but here's the silver lining. That discomfort is temporary. The respect you'll earn by standing firm, that will stay with you for a lifetime. Drawing boundaries isn't just about confronting others, it's about valuing yourself enough to demand better. When you enforce these limits, you teach others how to treat you, and more importantly, you affirm your own worth. 2. Don't engage in power struggles. Here's a truth that might sting. People who disrespect you often thrive on the chaos and control they create. They push your buttons, hoping to provoke a reaction, whether it's anger, defensiveness, or frustration. Why? Because your reaction feeds their power. It's like oxygen to their fire. The more you engage in their games, the more influence you give them over your emotions and your energy. But here's the game changer. You don't have to play. Reacting emotionally, be it through anger, defensiveness, or even tears, hands them exactly what they're looking for. Instead, take the power back by staying calm, composed, and unshakably indifferent. This doesn't mean you're letting them off the hook. It means you're refusing to let their behavior dictate your emotions. Your calmness is your armor. When you remain unbothered, you send a loud, unmistakable message: you don't control me. It's a power move that flips the dynamic entirely. As the great Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Let that wisdom guide you. Focus on mastering your reaction, not trying to manipulate their actions. The next time someone disrespects you, don't fall into their trap of escalating the conflict. Instead, disengage. Respond with calm, rational statements, brief and to the point. If they push harder, don't respond at all. Walk away if necessary. This doesn't just protect your dignity, it robs them of the control they crave and leaves them powerless to affect you. When you refuse to engage in their drama, you rise above it. And in doing so, you claim the ultimate victory: control over your own peace of mind. 3. Limit your exposure to them. One of the most effective ways to regain control over your peace is to limit your exposure to people who don't respect you. While it's not always possible to cut them out completely, especially if they're colleagues, family members, or unavoidable acquaintances, you do have the power to decide how much of your time and energy they consume. Here's the truth. Every interaction with a toxic person drains a little bit of your mental and emotional energy. The more access they have to you, the more power they wield over your well-being. I used to believe that I had no choice but to endure their disrespect, particularly in situations where avoidance seemed impossible. But here's what I learned. You don't have to tolerate their presence indefinitely. You can strategically minimize their influence. If it's a toxic colleague, restrict your interactions to what's absolutely necessary and stick to professional topics. If it's a disrespectful family member or friend, avoid unnecessary conversations, gatherings, or activities with them. It's not about making dramatic declarations or creating conflict. It's about quietly reclaiming your space and energy. Protecting your space is an act of self-respect. The more you distance yourself from people who drain you, the less impact they'll have on your mood, confidence, and overall quality of life. You don't owe anyone an explanation for safeguarding your peace. You simply need to take action. Gradually remove yourself from their orbit whenever possible, whether it's saying no to unnecessary interactions or choosing to spend time with people who uplift you instead. Here's the bottom line: your time, energy, and emotional well-being are precious resources. Don't waste them on those who consistently show you disrespect. By limiting your exposure, you not only protect yourself, but also take back the power they once had over your life. Prioritize your mental and emotional health. It's the foundation of your happiness and strength. 4. Respond with silence. Sometimes, the most powerful response to disrespect isn't words, it's silence. Not every battle is worth your energy, and not every rude comment deserves a reply. In fact, silence often speaks louder than anything you could say. Disrespectful people thrive on eliciting a reaction. They aim to provoke, bait you into losing your composure, or drag you into a heated exchange. But when you refuse to give them that satisfaction and instead respond with silence, you take the wind out of their sails. It leaves them scrambling for control, unsure how to proceed. Silence is more than the absence of words. It's a declaration of strength. It says, "I won't stoop to your level, and I won't engage in petty arguments." It positions you above the noise, unshaken and resolute. When you choose silence, you shift the power dynamic entirely in your favor. Sometimes, the most effective way to deal with disrespect is to let it linger in the air. Don't justify yourself, don't defend yourself, and certainly don't explain yourself. Let your silence do all the talking. The next time someone disrespects you, pause. Instead of immediately reacting, take a deep breath and allow the silence to settle. Not only does this give you a moment to collect your thoughts, but it also forces the other person to sit with the weight of their own words. What they don't expect, and what they may find deeply unsettling, is your refusal to engage. While they're waiting for a rebuttal, you've already won by choosing not to play their game. Silence, in its simplicity, can be far more impactful than any retort or comeback you could muster. It's a masterstroke of control and dignity, and it reminds both you and them that not every action deserves your reaction. 5. Set clear boundaries. When someone disrespects you repeatedly, it's not just frustrating, it's a signal that boundaries need to be set. Disrespect often thrives in ambiguity. People either don't know where your limits are, or worse, they assume you won't stand up for yourself. Setting boundaries is not about confrontation, it's about asserting self-respect and clearly communicating what behavior you will and will not tolerate. For a long time, I hesitated to set boundaries, fearing I'd come across as rude or overly aggressive. But here's the truth. Boundaries aren't barriers, they're blueprints for how others should treat you. They are an act of self-respect, and, perhaps more importantly, they teach others how to respect you. When you fail to establish boundaries, you inadvertently signal that your silence or hesitation is permission for others to cross the line. The beauty of boundaries lies in their simplicity. A calm yet firm statement like, "I don't appreciate being spoken to that way," or "Please don't interrupt me when I'm talking," can make all the difference. You don't need to over-explain or apologize, just state your expectations clearly and confidently. It might feel awkward or even intimidating at first, but with practice, you'll find that this discomfort is a small price to pay for the respect you gain. Once you set boundaries, something remarkable happens. Disrespect becomes a choice others must consciously make, and many won't bother when they realize there are consequences. Some people will rise to meet your standards, while others, unable to handle accountability, will drift away. Either way, you win. By setting boundaries, you create an environment where you're not just surviving disrespect, but actively demanding better treatment. It's a powerful step toward building the respect and relationships you deserve. 6. Don't take it personally. When someone disrespects you, it's easy to take it as a personal attack, a reflection of your worth, or a glaring flaw in who you are. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Their behavior isn't about you, it's about them. Disrespect often stems from unresolved insecurities, bitterness, or frustrations they're projecting onto you. The moment you stop internalizing their behavior, you'll feel an incredible weight lifted off your shoulders. Trust me, I've been there. I used to overanalyze every rude comment or dismissive action, convinced I had done something to deserve it. But the more I examined it, the clearer it became. Their actions were never about me. They were lashing out because of their own unresolved issues, their own limitations, not because I was lacking. This shift in perspective changed everything. When you stop taking disrespect personally, you regain power. Instead of feeling hurt, angry, or defensive, you can detach emotionally and see the situation for what it really is, a reflection of their character, not your value. You have the ultimate control over how much of their behavior affects you. By choosing not to take it personally, you free yourself from their negativity and protect your emotional well-being. It's a game-changing perspective that transforms hurt into resilience. 7. Walk away when necessary. Sometimes the strongest move you can make in the face of disrespect is the simplest one, walking away. Disrespect, when tolerated, doesn't just sting in the moment. It erodes your self-esteem over time. chipping away at your confidence and mental health. Staying in a toxic environment where your worth is constantly undermined can have long-term consequences. Walking away, on the other hand, is a powerful declaration of your self-worth. It's not about surrender or defeat. It's about reclaiming your peace. I used to think walking away meant I was giving up, that it somehow made me weak. But I've come to understand this truth. Walking away isn't about winning or losing. It's about choosing yourself. You don't have to endure disrespect just to prove you're strong enough to handle it. No argument, explanation, or confrontation will change someone who is determined to belittle or mistreat you. When I started walking away from those situations, I realized I hadn't lost anything. In fact, I had gained something priceless: freedom and peace of mind. Walking away can take many forms. It might be as simple as physically removing yourself from a toxic conversation, or as profound as cutting ties with someone who consistently disrespects you. It could mean ending a draining friendship, stepping out of a toxic relationship, or even making the tough decision to leave a workplace where your value isn't recognized. These choices aren't easy, but they're often necessary for your long-term well-being. When you walk away, you send a clear and powerful message to yourself and to others that your self-respect is non-negotiable. You reclaim the right to decide who gets access to your time and energy. And in the end, walking away isn't about what you're leaving behind. It's about what you're choosing: your peace, your dignity, and your happiness. It's a victory in its own right. 8. Surround yourself with supportive people. Dealing with disrespect is exhausting, especially when it feels like you're facing it alone. The constant need to defend your worth can weigh heavily on your emotional and mental health, leaving you isolated and drained. That's why surrounding yourself with people who uplift, encourage, and respect you is not just important, it's essential. A strong support system acts as a shield, buffering you against the negativity you might face while reminding you of your intrinsic value and the love that surrounds you. I can't emphasize enough how transformative it was for me to cultivate a close circle of supportive friends and family. Whenever I faced disrespect, they were my sanctuary. They listened without judgment, offered unwavering encouragement, and reminded me that I deserved better. They were my lifeline when I felt too emotionally depleted to stand up for myself. Knowing that I had people in my corner gave me the courage to walk away from toxic situations without guilt or hesitation. They helped me realize that my value wasn't tied to how others treated me, but to how I treated myself. The beauty of surrounding yourself with the right people is that their support doesn't just help you recover, it strengthens you for the future. They build you up, reinforcing the belief that you deserve kindness, respect, and decency. This empowerment makes it easier to recognize and reject disrespect when it arises. These people offer you a safe space to process, heal, and grow from negative experiences. Their presence shifts your focus from pain to progress, from feeling small to embracing the lessons that make you stronger. They remind you over and over that you are so much more than the way others treat you. Creating this kind of support network might require hard choices, like distancing yourself from toxic relationships, but the reward is immeasurable. As the saying goes, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Surround yourself with people who elevate you, and you'll find it much easier to rise above disrespect and negativity. Handling disrespect will never be easy, but the way you respond shapes how others see you and, more importantly, how you see yourself. Remember, how others treat you reflects their character, but how you respond reflects your self-respect. Whether it's by setting firm boundaries, calmly disengaging, walking away, or leaning on your support system, the choice is yours, and so is the power. Here's the key takeaway: You deserve to be treated with kindness, respect, and dignity. If someone can't offer that, it's not only your right, but your responsibility to protect your peace. When you surround yourself with people who uplift you and take control of how you allow others to treat you, you set the standard for the respect you deserve. Disrespect may come your way. It's an unfortunate reality. But with the tools and the support you have, you'll be ready to face it with grace, confidence, and unwavering self-respect. So the next time someone tries to make you feel small, remember the strength you've built, the boundaries you've set, and the people who remind you of your worth. Stand tall, choose yourself, and never let anyone diminish your value. Thank you for taking the time to read this. If you found these insights helpful, share them with someone who might need a reminder of their own power and worth. Together, we can build a community rooted in respect, strength, and mutual upliftment. Stay strong, stay true to who you are, and always remember, respect starts from within.